and department bureaus and programs as well. The report says anyone requesting to see State Department posts going back before January 20th of 2025 will have to make a FOIA request.
Good Day Chicago at 7 starts now.
And right now at 7 o'clock, a potentially dangerous, mysterious smell has been spreading across Chicagoland into Indiana and Wisconsin as well. We are live with the investigation to where it could be originating from.
Plus, a growing fight against plans for an Amazon data center. We're going to show you why one group is taking it to court.
The Seahawks, Super Bowl champions for the second time.
All right, the Seahawks pummel the Patriots and ride their dark side defense to a Super Bowl title.
And let's give you a look outside. Spring, could it be on the way? Caitlin is tracking some changes in the forecast as we give you a live look at the, I believe, Michigan Avenue Bridge.
Yes,
is that correct?
That is correct.
All right.
Yes, indeed. All right. We thank you for joining us here, starting your Monday morning with us here at 7 o'clock. It's warming up. We're trying to figure out what this smell is. Somebody speculated that it's because it's been not in here. It's outside in many areas. I actually smelled it as soon as I walked out of the house.
You
And
did?
Caitlin, one of our coworkers, said, you know, now that it's warming up a little bit, maybe things are being released into the, you know, but we're working on it.
Oh, I heard it was like a chemical-y smell.
Yeah.
Did you smell it too?
I did not smell it, no.
I didn't either. Interesting. We're getting to the bottom of it.
Yes.
We are working on it. But it is warmer.
Yeah.
Or going to be.
Yes. Today, back to about 40 this afternoon. It's going to be a quiet week of weather, really. This morning, we just have a few clouds around, but we don't expect any wet weather. Temperatures, as mentioned, about 10 degrees warmer than we were yesterday. Yesterday, we were in the upper 20s in most spots, tagging 30 in others. Right now, we're sitting in the upper teens to mid-20s, so it feels okay outside right now. 23 degrees at the lakefront, 22 at Midway and O'Hare. 16 degrees in Aurora, 19 in Morris. Temperatures in northwest Indiana in the mid-teens to around 20 degrees currently. But our day planner has those temperatures pushing to about 31 by lunchtime. 2 o'clock, 38 degrees. So again, a few clouds, but no wet weather expected. I'll show you how long we can hold on to the mild temperatures ahead. First, though, checking in on your drive this morning with Anthony. What's the latest?
Okay, this is I-55 right near Bolingbrook. There's no major accidents to speak of on 55. It is a pretty standard ride for a Monday morning. You're at 35 minutes inbound from I-355 to DuSable Lakeshore Drive. Not seeing any other accidents. People are apparently driving pretty well this morning. On the Kennedy inbound, 42 minutes from O'Hare to downtown. On the Eisenhower, you're at 39 inbound from Route 390 to downtown. Again, Stevenson, you're at 35 minutes inbound from I-355 to Lakeshore Drive. It's a little bit more crowded on the Dan Ryan. It's a 26-minute ride from 95th to downtown. And I do want to point out a couple things on the Metra. On the Union Pacific West line, the train that was supposed to get in about 9 minutes ago to Chicago is about 15 to 20 minutes behind. So if you take Union Pacific West, check that app. And good news is the Milwaukee District North line is back up and running after some mechanical problems involving a freight train. So Milwaukee District North commuters, you are back on schedule. 7:03 developing this morning. Algonquin fire officials, they're warning about a mysterious odor that is spreading across the area.
Our Saquon is there to find out more. Okay, so Say, can you smell it? And what are people there saying this morning?
It's so funny because you obviously don't really know how to show smell on television, but I will say, you guys, I'm not smelling anything right now. We are just in front of the Algonquin Lake in the Hills Fire Protection District right now. It's kind of near, you know, some businesses here in the area. We haven't smelled anything. I will mention this, though. As we were leaving the station today, downtown Chicago area, we did smell what seemed maybe like chlorine, but once again, once we got to this area, we haven't been able to smell anything. Now, we were able to confirm with fire officials that there is something in the air. They actually posted something on Facebook yesterday acknowledging this, and they say that they've received many 911 calls about a chemical or burning electrical smell in the area. And these reports have come from kind of all over, from central Illinois through Indiana and as far north as the Wisconsin border. The source of this is still unknown. unknown, but you know, they are saying that they're looking into it with regional partners and other agencies as well. Now, they do also mention that you should go see a doctor if you experience, you know, maybe difficulty breathing, dizziness, nausea, irritation. And then they also say to only call 911 if it's an emergency. Obviously, you don't want to flood, you know, the phone lines there with any non-emergency related calls. Once again, you guys, we're going to try to figure out the smell here. We'll try to talk with some people who live in this area and see if they can describe the smell, because I think that is kind of the big question mark with all of this right now. Guys, back to you.
Say thank you so much. And I actually was mentioning that I did smell this as soon as I left the house. I live in the northern suburbs, and we've had some interesting comments on Facebook trying to answer the question that Say just posed. What does this smell like? Okay, Jessica says she thought her car was burning rubber or melting. Vicky smelled it in Plainfield. She thought it was an electrical fire. Brittany from Buffalo Grove reported what smelled like weed killer. I think that is the most accurate that I have seen so far. Weed killer. It kind of has that Roundup type smell.
Well, to be honest, I'm glad I have not smelled it, because I would be frightened.
Yes.
But we'll continue to follow the story for you guys. We now know the name of the man in other news accused of killing a Joliet woman and her 4-year-old son.
We're checking back in with Gabriella Primus, who has that and some of the other top stories we're following for you. Gabriella?
Natalie Anthony, Joliet police say Joseph D. Johnson is now at the Will County Adult Detention Facility after being released from the hospital. Now, Johnson is accused of shooting and killing Jocelyn Diaz-Garcia and her 4-year-old son at their home on January 25th. Authorities say he also shot himself in the ankle. He's facing first-degree murder charges. It's now been 9 days since Nancy Guthrie's disappearance. Authorities are investigating 2 alleged ransom notes tied to this case. And over the weekend, investigators seemed to focus on a manhole in the backyard of Nancy's home. And as far as we know, the family has not seen any evidence that she's still alive. The family posted a new video over the weekend pleading for her safe return.
We beg you now to return our mother to us so that we can celebrate with her. This is the only way we will have peace. This is very valuable to us, and we will pay.
The latest from investigators Sunday is that there's still no suspect or person of interest in this case. The FBI is offering a $50,000 reward for information that could bring her home. A Round Lake Beach woman and her boyfriend are charged with first-degree murder in the death of her 8-year-old son. Police arrested Dominique Servant and Joey Ruffin on Friday. Detectives say the child was malnourished and found evidence that the child had suffered long-term physical and mental abuse. The boy's identity has not been released. His 10-year-old brother was also reportedly hospitalized. Anthony.
Thank you, Gabby. A driver is dead after crashing into a CTA bus. This happened Sunday around 4:30 a.m. at the intersection of South Blue Island Avenue and South Wood on the city's southwest side. Officers say the man rear-ended the bus at a red light. 5 people were on board that bus at the time. None of them and the driver not hurt.
Joliet police need your help finding this man. He is accused of robbing a Cricket Wireless store Saturday afternoon on Collins Street. Police say the man had his hand in his jacket. He told an employee he had a gun. He demanded money. They say he took $1,000 and ran away. If you have information that could help with this investigation, please call Joliet Police or Will County Crime Stoppers. We got some good news for people in Dixmoor here. Crews have repaired that second water main break. This is the one that was at 143rd and Page Avenue. City workers discovered it on Saturday while they were repairing a whole different water main break. Good news to be punctuated here. All boil notices for Dixmoor have been canceled.
This morning, the Seattle Seahawks, they're waking up as Super Bowl champs, beating the Patriots 29-13 to win the title for just the second time in their franchise's history. It was a bit of deja vu from 12 years back when they won for the first time.
The team's defense carried them to that title, and they did so once again on Sunday.
They just made a decision. They're going to play a certain way. They lived up to the dark side today. It's going to go down in the history books. We love our players. Look, they made it happen. They made it come to life, and we won the game.
That's right. The Seahawks' so-called dark side pummeled Patriots quarterback Drake May, sacking him 6 times and forcing 3 turnovers. But the real star of the game was Super Bowl MVP running back Kenneth Walker III. He says he has been working hard ever since his football career almost ended in 2018 when doctors discovered blood clots in both of his lungs.
I just thought, football was over. That's what I was doing all my life. So it was a shocking moment, but, my dad worked with me throughout that whole process, and he was in the hospital with me as well, and my mom. So just going through that, it just made me grateful for each and every day to be able to go out there and strap up and play this game and just, still be alive for real.
Of him giving props to his parents, for being by his side. Walker rushed for 135 yards on 27 carries, became the first running back to win Super Bowl MVP in 28 years.
Great. All right. And we can't talk about the game without talking about the halftime show. Bad Bunny bringing Puerto Rican culture to Levi's Stadium, performing several of his biggest hits. He also brought out several surprise guests, including Lady Gaga and Ricky Martin. And at the end of his performance, he shared a message of unity, saying that we are all Americans.
God bless America. Sea Chile, Argentina, Uruguay, Paraguay, Bolivia, Perú, Ecuador, Brasil, Colombia, Venezuela, Guyana, Panamá, Costa Rica, Nicaragua, Honduras, El Salvador, Guatemala, México, Cuba, República Dominicana, Jamaica, Haití, las Antillas, United States, Canadá, a my motherland, mi patria, Puerto Rico. Seguimos aquí.
It was a big moment for Puerto Ricans across the country, including right here in Chicago.
It's about being Latino. Like Bad Bunny said, ahora todos quieren ser Latinos, pero le falta sazón. So I want Puerto Rico to be in top of the world.
All right, remember the part of the halftime show with the conductor, with the violinist? Well, that man actually has ties to the Chicago area. Giancarlo Guerrero is the artistic director, or Giancarlo Guerrero is the artistic director and principal conductor for the Grant Park Music Festival. He is the first classical musician to be featured in a halftime show since Gustavo Dudamel's appearance with Yola in 2016. One other thing I want to mention that you may have missed, during a portion of the song, a frog in a hat popped up on his screen.
I noticed
that. Is the Puerto Rican crested toad. Brookfield Zoo Chicago has one of them that I profiled, and because of Bad Bunny's elevation of this little endangered creature, it has gotten a ton of publicity.
I remember this.
Isn't that amazing?
Thank you for connecting those dots for us, Nad.
Super cute. All right, let's take a live look outside this morning, and we can see yet again that snow cover over the Chicago area, but finally, Caitlin tells us it could melt off this week.
The Brookfield Zoo is so proud of you, Natalie. Natalie really remembers all the facts from all the creatures that she talks about. Talking about the weather, though, you're right. This morning, it's beautiful. You saw from that live shot. Look at this. Absolutely stunning. It's Monday, but it is going to be a mild day. Temperatures pushing to the upper 30s and low 40s this afternoon. Talking about the sky cover, we have a few clouds out there, but it is dry, and it's going to stay dry. In fact, we have no rain expected until we hit the weekend. Temperatures outside right now ranging in the teens and 20s. I see 23 degrees at the lakefront right now, 22 at O'Hara and Midway, 19 from Gary to Michigan City, as well as Morris and LaSalle. So the temperatures are not too cold this morning, and as mentioned, it is going to be a very nice, mild day. Let's take you through hour by hour. Lunchtime temperatures are going to be still in the 30s, and we're seeing upper 30s and low 40s by later on this afternoon, 3 to 4 o'clock. 38 degrees expected at O'Hare at that time, 43 in Morris, 44 at LaSalle. Northwest Indiana temperatures for you ranging in the 30s. Then we work our way into this evening, 7 o'clock. You get home from work, you want to go for a walk. You can still do that comfortably. Temperatures are still hovering in the upper 30s for most of us. This is 7 p.m. and 34 degrees. The lakefront in Gary, 36 at O'Hare. And then tonight, temperatures are not dropping too much. In fact, we're rolling into early tomorrow, 7:30 in the morning, already in the mid to upper 30s. Tomorrow is going to be even warmer than today as temperatures push to the low and mid 40s for most of us. So today we're hovering at around 40 degrees in Chicago, but tomorrow I do expect to climb a couple more degrees. You can see 245 on your Tuesday, and some of you in the southwestern areas could be pushing into the upper 40s. Fantastic. Now, the 40s, they're not going to last. I'll show you how we're going to drop after tomorrow ahead. Anthony.
Okay, thank you, Caitlin. Appreciate it. Well, another government shutdown right around the corner, if you can believe it, if lawmakers don't act quickly. We will break down some of the sticking points ahead of Friday's deadline. Welcome back as we take a live look at the little breezy view there over the Michigan Avenue Bridge. We'll get a check back in on our weather with Caitlin in just a moment. It's going to be a little warmer later today. But first, Gabriella Primus here in studio with this morning's top stories. Gabriella.
Yeah, we've been talking about this. We're following a developing story in Algonquin where fire officials say they've gotten several 911 calls about a mystery odor. So I heard you say that you smelled it, Anthony. People describe it as chemical or burning electrical smell. The Fire Protection District says it spans from central Illinois through Indiana and as far north as the Wisconsin border. The source of the odor is still a mystery, but appears to be coming from the south. You should seek medical attention if you feel dizzy or have trouble breathing. It's now been 9 days since Nancy Guthrie's disappearance. Authorities are investigating 2 alleged ransom notes tied to the case. And over the weekend, investigators seemed to focus on a manhole in the backyard at Nancy's house. There still is no suspect or person of interest in this case. The FBI is offering a $50,000 reward for information that could bring her home. A group is suing to block the city of Hobart, Indiana from moving forward with plans for a massive Amazon data center. The No Data Centers Hobart, Indiana argues the city council violated state law by skipping key steps before approving the plan. A Lake County judge will decide on Wednesday whether city leaders can move forward with the full permit. Natalie.
And Gabriella, former Joliet Bishop Ronald Hicks is now officially the leader of the largest Catholic archdiocese in the nation.
Some 2,000 people came together to witness the transfer of spiritual power at St. Patrick's Cathedral in New York on Sunday. Hicks grew up in the neighboring town of Pope Leo XIV, little south suburbs connection here. Pope Leo being the first American pope who handpicked him for this position.
The church exists to proclaim Jesus Christ and the gospel to everyone, publicly and credibly, without fear, in every culture and circumstance. A church that upholds human dignity in every way possible.
Hicks replaces the retiring Cardinal Timothy Dolan, who served as the Archbishop of New York for 17 years.
Lawmakers get back to work this week facing a tough deadline. Funding for much of the Department of Homeland Security runs out after Friday. And this is primarily a standoff over ICE and immigration enforcement. But there's collateral damage here from a Homeland Security funding lapse that could be huge, hitting everything from TSA agents to FEMA. Democrats say this is on Republicans.
Either they're going to agree to dramatically reform the way in which ICE and other immigration enforcement agencies are conducting themselves so that they're behaving like every other law enforcement agency in the country, or they're making the explicit decision to shut down the Coast Guard, shut down FEMA, and shut down TSA, and that would be very unfortunate.
Well, there is already some give on Democratic demands like body cameras for ICE agents. Republicans say they will not support banning face masks and other demands, citing agent safety.
I think Democrats are going to have a very hard time shutting the government down just so they can perpetuate the kind of chaos that's going on in Minneapolis.
Republicans are pressing for their own reforms at the ballot box, pushing for voter ID requirements, but they are unlikely to overcome an expected filibuster in the Senate to pass that.
All right, 7:20. It's time to get another check of this weather, and I see the phrase above average temps behind you.
Love that, huh?
Yeah.
It's going to be a wonderful day. Look at this live view of our sunshine over our wonderful city. It is going to be a pretty day, too. Just a few clouds around this morning. Temperatures, we're going to be soaring into the upper 30s and low 40s today. So talking about those weather headlines, this is what Anthony was talking about, above average temperatures. We're going to be in the 30s and 40s this entire week, and even into the weekend, the 40s are expected. Minimal rain and snow chances. We're going to be dry, too. So not only are we mild, but we also get to enjoy being outside. Satellite radar shows just those few clouds as mentioned. Very quiet weather this morning in Chicago. Over the next 48 hours, temperatures are going to be climbing to the upper 30s to about 40 degrees for us in Chicago. Now, other locations like our southwestern counties, you are going to be climbing into the low 40s today. Then tonight we stay in the 30s. It's going to be a mild night tonight, and tomorrow back to the 40s. So no surprise that it is going to be not too chilly overnight tonight, because tomorrow we're going to be in the low to mid 40s. Some of you southwest tomorrow could be flirting starting with 50 degrees. Now, we're not going to stay that high. You can see our 7-day forecast down to 37 degrees expected Wednesday and Thursday. Friday, right around 40 again. And then this weekend, that's when we have that rain-snow mix possible Saturday as well as on Sunday. Highs back to the 40s, which is wonderful. So in the meantime, today, we are going to have just a few clouds, temperatures hovering at about 40 as mentioned. So we are going to be about 10 degrees warmer than we were yesterday. So I hope you get the opportunity to enjoy it, especially today and tomorrow. Anthony.
Okay, thank you very much, Caitlin. It is doing pretty well out there traffic-wise this morning, other than a couple of construction-related ramp closures. Things are running fairly decently. You're at 47 minutes inbound on the Kennedy from Wayhair to downtown. On the Eisenhower, it's a 44-minute ride from Route 390 to downtown. On the Stevenson, you're at 37 minutes inbound from I-355 to DuSable Lakeshore Drive. And the Dan Ryan, fairly smooth. You're at 27 minutes inbound from 95th to downtown. Also, if you take the Metra, everything is running smoothly except for things on the Union Pacific West. There's some 15 to 20-minute delays depending on your train, so check that app if you commute on the Union Pacific West. We will be right back after this. Welcome back. Chicago Black Restaurant Week is back for its 11th year.
This is a way to highlight and support local Black-owned businesses across the city and the suburbs. And this year, more than 36 restaurants are participating with special deals on appetizers, entrees, and desserts. Black Restaurant Week kicked off Sunday. It runs through February 22nd.
Some people use the Super Bowl as an opportunity to save lives. St. Joseph and Francis Xavier parishes hosted its annual Super Bowl Sunday blood drive in Wilmette. That event honors Kevin Joseph Smith Burke, who died in 2017 from a rare heart condition at just the age of 23. Sunday's goal was 400 units of blood. Organizers say that amount is going to save more than 1,200 people.
It's special. For 11 years now, we've run a blood drive here, and the vibrancy of the people in this parish just comes out more and more every year. It's well more than a blood drive.
To put this all into perspective, 3 units of blood is equal to the liquid in a bottle of wine. The Red Cross is always looking for donors here. You can find out how to help at redcrossblood.org. Lunar New Year festivities have started up in Chinatown. Thousands of people showed up Sunday to celebrate. The neighborhood packed for the annual parade, which Mayor Brandon Johnson helped lead. Light Up Chinatown is what it's called. It also included traditional lion and dragon dances and colorful lantern displays. The Lunar New Year officially begins February 17th. The year of the horse.
I know, it's going to be a good one. Hi, Caitlin.
Good morning. It's going to be a wonderful day today. Temperatures in the upper 30s and low 40s. We have a stunning sunrise, partly cloudy skies, really quiet weather expected all week, with the 30s and 40s continuing too. I'll show you that full 7-day forecast coming up.
Welcome back. We are following a developing story out of Algonquin. It's kind of a head scratcher here. Fire officials say they have gotten several 911 calls about a mysterious odor. People describe it as a chemical or burning, perhaps electrical smell. The Fire Protection District says it spans from central Illinois through Indiana and as far north as the Wisconsin border. The source of the odor still a mystery. It appears to be originally from the south. You should seek medical attention if you feel dizzy or have trouble breathing.
A lawsuit is filed to block the city of Hobart, Indiana from moving forward with the proposed Amazon data center. Last week, the Hobart Plan Commission approved the permit for Amazon to build the data center. But the group, No Data Centers Hobart, Indiana, they say the city council violated state law by skipping some key steps before that approval. The issue of whether Hobart can move forward with the permit will go before a Lake County judge this Wednesday.
Right now, health officials are tracking measles outbreaks in several states, placing the U.S. at risk of losing its measles elimination status. An outbreak in South Carolina is now in the hundreds, surpassing the record number of cases from the Texas outbreak, and there is another one being followed on the Utah-Arizona border. CDC Administrator Dr. Mehmet Oz, says Medicare and Medicaid will continue to cover the measles shot as part of insurance programs. And it is now day 9 in the growing search for Nancy Guthrie.
Authorities are investigating 2 alleged ransom notes now tied to the case. Gabriela Primus joins us with the latest.
Yeah, so there have been some updates over the weekend. Investigators were seen searching a septic tank on the Arizona property belonging to Nancy Guthrie. 2 marked sheriff's cars and another vehicle arrived at Nancy's house around midday on Sunday. At least 2 people went to the back of the home for more than 20 minutes, but left without leaving any comment with reporters. But according to some reports, the potential kidnappers are demanding $6 million for Nancy Guthrie's return. Over the weekend, Savannah and her siblings released another video on social media saying they were ready to pay. Reports also say the kidnappers gave the family until 6 p.m. Central today as a deadline. Ghislaine Maxwell, Epstein's accomplice and former girlfriend, is expected to plead the Fifth when she appears for a congressional deposition today. That's according to her attorney. Maxwell is currently serving a 20-year sentence at a women's prison camp in Byron, Texas, after being convicted over her role of procuring victims for Epstein. The Oversight Committee has also scheduled depositions later this month for former President Bill Clinton and former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton. Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu is heading to Washington this week. He's expected to hold key talks with President Trump over U.S. negotiations with Iran. The talks are centered around efforts to stop Tehran's ballistic missile program and influence in the region. Netanyahu says any deal must limit Iran's missile program and curb support for militant groups like Hezbollah and Hamas. Caitlin.
Checking in on the forecast this morning, live look outside. The sun is shining. We have partly cloudy skies expected today, but the temperatures, everyone is going to love this. Finally going to thaw out, melt some of that snow outside. Right now we're sitting in the 20s in Chicago. It's 23 degrees at the lakefront, 22 at O'Hare and Midway, 18 in Merrillville, 14 in Valpo, 16 in Aurora. I see 18 there at Woodstock and 21 in Waukegan. So the temperatures, they're okay this morning, but we are on our way to the upper 30s and low 40s this afternoon. I expect to be right around 40 degrees on the dot for us in Chicago, with the wind coming in out of the south, 5 to 10 miles per hour, up to 15 at times. Tonight, we're dropping down to about 33, so not much. In fact, this is where we should be for our high this time of year. We're going to have that wind coming in out of the west, up to 20 miles per hour. And then tomorrow, even warmer, 44 degrees, partly sunny, another dry day, with the wind perhaps gusting up to 30 miles per hour. But then the temperatures start to drop. We're back down to 37 degrees on Wednesday and Thursday, which still isn't bad, and it's going to be dry all the way to the end of the week. Friday, 39. Again, normal high, 33. As we work our way to the weekend, that's when we have our next potential for a rain-snow mix. But we'll show you that on your full 7-day forecast. I do want to share with you a few photos that we did receive from you. Thank you for thinking of us and uploading your pictures. Johnny O says, good morning, Chicago. Look at these clouds. And we still have the ice out there over the lake. But, man, what a beautiful, clear shot you got, Johnny. Thank you for this picture. It's bright and beautiful. You could print this and put it on the wall. All right, our next photo from Lori Anderson, the Great Marsh at Indiana Dunes State Park. My girl. That's the thing. The Indiana Dunes State Park, you can hike there all year round. I know people think about going to the dunes just in the summertime, but look at this. The trails that they have out there are absolutely stunning. Lori, thank you for your picture. Looks like you had a great day. And this is from Jane Shepard, bald eagles enjoying the Kankakee River in Aroma Park. Wow, what a sight that was. I bet Jane was like, oh, where's my camera? Where's my camera? They're right there. All right, that's a look at our photos. Now let's take a look at traffic as we send you to break.
welcome back to Good Day Chicago. Let's take a live look at the sunrise along the lakefront. Don't worry about getting cold out there. Just stay warm inside with Good Day Chicago. We're going to be giving you these live looks at the sunrise all morning long. Anthony?
All right. Thank you, Natalie. There is still a lot of uncertainty surrounding the new home of the Bears. The Indiana stepping up their efforts to tempt the monsters of the Midway to make a home there. Meantime, Arlington Heights is still very much fighting for the Bears to stay in Illinois. And some community members there hosting a rally this week in hopes of gaining more support. Argy Karafodius is the founding member of Touchdown Arlington. Thank you for joining us, Argy. We appreciate your time.
Good morning, Anthony.
Okay, so tell us about this rally happening Wednesday, why you're hosting and why it's important.
This is at 6 o'clock this Wednesday at the DoubleTree Hilton Hotel in Arlington Heights. We are hosting this event because there is an urgency to Springfield. The last 2 weeks of February, they're very important. We need to pass the bill for the Bears to stay in Illinois and come to Arlington Heights. Indiana has been very vocal, and they're already passing the bill. It's close to the governor's office, so we need to get things done.
And when you say get things done, what do you think that both Arlington Heights and the state of Illinois need to do better to keep Indiana from luring the team across the state line?
I have to say, our mayor has done great job talking with the Bears. The Bears have been talking with the school districts, and it's not an easy subject, I understand. But I have to say, the village and the school districts are working really hard to move this forward. Right now, it's up to Springfield and our respectful governor, who is a very smart person. He knows what he needs to do. We need to push them to go down there and pass the bill and have the Bears come to Arlington Heights to create thousands of jobs, sales taxes, and just people need to realize that we are writing history right now. And the Bears staying in Illinois and coming to Arlington Heights, it's going to be in the history books.
Argy, do you feel like the Bears are seriously, legitimately considering Indiana, or do you think they're using this as a negotiating ploy and just kind of bluffing here?
Well, I'm a small business owner, and as a business, you have to see that Indiana is offering a lot to the Bears. And don't forget, the Bears, yes, it's an NFL team, but they're a business. It's about the money, it's about the taxes. And Indiana, they brought a very good deal in front of them. And I have to say, as a business owner, I would think twice and let Indiana explain to me why I have to go there. And I think the Bears are doing the same thing. I'm not agreeing with that. I disagree. I want them to come to Arlington Heights. But never say never. We're seeing different NFL teams that are moving across states, across the river. We saw the Chiefs. And this is, you never say never. We need to focus, and we need to keep the Bears in Illinois and bring them to Arlington Heights.
Argy, what do you say to folks who, have the attitude of, hey, this is an NFL team, they've got deep pockets, the budget situation here in Illinois, it's dire, they don't deserve tax breaks?
Well, don't forget that the Bears, as far as I know, they never asked for money to build the stadium. It's about infrastructure. Any business, whether they're moving to a new city or a new village, they're asking for infrastructure help and tax certainty. That's what the Bears have asked all these years. I'm in this situation for the last 3.5 years, I believe, with Touchdown. They never said, we want money to build the stadium, but we need help with the taxes and infrastructure. And they have been very clear with that. That's the message.
All right. Argy Karafodius with Touchdown Arlington. We will be covering your rally on Wednesday. Thank you for your time this morning, sir. We appreciate it.
Thank you, Anthony. Have a good day.
All right, you too. 7:43. Here's a quick look at what is coming up a little bit later on Good Day Chicago during our 8 and 9 o'clock hours. So keep it right here.
Fox Chicago.
Welcome back. As part of the last government funding bill signed into law, DHS funding is set to expire this weekend unless Democrats and Republicans can come up with a deal.
Gabriella is here, and there are demands coming now from both sides of the aisle ahead of this deadline.
Yeah, and lawmakers will be hard at work this week looking to avoid a shutdown of the Department of Homeland Security. Democrats are demanding changes to immigration enforcement, including banning officers from wearing masks and ending roving patrols. Republicans say they will not give in to those demands without something in return, including an end to sanctuary cities. But the collateral damage from a Homeland Security funding lapse could be huge, hitting everything from TSA agents to FEMA. American skier Lindsey Vonn is in stable condition after receiving surgery for a broken leg after a crash during the Olympic downhill final. It's the same leg she ruptured her ACL on last month while training. The 41-year-old's Olympic dreams came to an end on Sunday when, after 13 seconds into her run, she caught her right arm in the gate, twisting her body, leaving her tumbling down the slope. Poor thing. A South Korean cryptocurrency company is apologizing this morning after making a mistake worth billions. The company Bithumb accidentally gave away $44 billion with a B dollars worth of Bitcoin on Friday. According to a report from CNBC, it was part of a promotional reward for its customers and resulted in a huge sell-off because of the exchange. The company says it has recovered about 99.7% of what was given away. Natalie and Anthony.
Thank you, Gabby. And we want to take another live look outside for you. The bean out there, its little snow cap has melted off, so that's good news. Caitlin is standing by, and we've got a warm up on the way.
The powdered sugar, right?
Yeah.
The powdered sugar, it's gone. Let's melt more of this snow, shall we? Live look outside, city showing snow. Yes, we still have it on the ground. But today, temperatures are going to be pushing to the upper 30s and low 40s, so the melt is going to begin. And actually, tomorrow is going to be even warmer. Low to mid 40s are expected. But this morning, it's gorgeous. We have hardly any cloud cover out there. Today is going to be a quiet day. As mentioned, the temperatures being the #1 headline, and a closer look at satellite radar shows just the lack of cloud cover that we have. So you may have a few clouds, especially northwest of the city. But over the city, it's beautiful. We've got blue sky and just a wispy cloud. Temperatures, though, are in the teens and low 20s for most of us. Right now, 23 degrees at the lakefront, as well as at O'Hare. We are seeing 16 in Aurora, 19 in Morris, 14 in Valpo, and 19 from Michigan City to Gary. Here's your day planner. Temperatures right around 31 by 11, by 2, 38. Some of us are going to be pushing into the low 40s. I think Chicago, we're going to be right around 39 or 40. But tomorrow, that's where we're going to be in the low to mid 40s. In southwestern counties, you could be around 50 tomorrow. Here's your 7-day forecast. Our 2 warm days of the week, Monday and Tuesday. Then on Wednesday, down to 37, which down to, that's still above normal. Thursday, still feeling good at 37 degrees, right around 40 to end the week. And then this weekend, we have the potential for some wet weather. Mixed bag of precipitation possible Saturday as well as on Sunday, with highs in the 40s again. So we have this roller coaster of temperatures again this week, but we're staying above normal the whole time. It is 7:50. We have so much more ahead. Stay with us.
Fox.
We're so glad you're with us on this Monday morning. A live look at Michigan Avenue, the bridge there over the Chicago River. We've got some gusty skies there, it looks like, but some sunshine for you today and a warm-up on the way. You can't beat it. On Sunday, hundreds of people walked in the cold to raise awareness about funding for the homeless.
Yes, this happened at Humboldt Park. Chicago could lose $60 million from the federal government after the Trump administration changed its policy regarding money that goes to sanctuary cities. While the conflict is being handled in court, some providers already lost funding at the beginning of the year.
It has been a long year. With lots of bumps and bruises to funding and organizations, and we have to come together to keep the organizations that reflect our values running.
And to bring light to humanity. So we raise funds for these incredible organizations and the light to what really is homelessness, how we can end stigmas, and how we can change the future.
I was once homeless myself. Now I'm employed, but I had to desire not to be homeless, so I worked hard not to be homeless.
This walk comes weeks after a new report came out about the state of homelessness in Chicago. The Chicago Coalition to End Homelessness found the city's homeless population was 3 times higher than what the federal government counted in 2024. Mayor Brandon Johnson participating in the Lunar New Year kickoff celebration called Light Up Chinatown. That event included traditional lion and dragon dances yesterday. Bunch of colorful lantern displays as well. This year, the Lunar New Year falls on February 17th.
Yeah, I love a shirtless man just like anyone else out there, but this one, a little dicey. Shirtless man ran across the field at Levi's Stadium during last night's Super Bowl. It was New England Patriots wide receiver Kyle Williams who saved the day, tackling the guy to the ground. Video shows a security crew chase the man down the field before Williams joins the chase and appears to push him on the shoulder. A similar incident happened during the 2021 Super Bowl involving 2 men. In that case, the men were fined and had to perform community service. It's unclear what punishment this guy will face. I can't. How is security not so tight that somebody
Get in there.
is able to do
yeah.
that?
He's pretty quick on his feet, too, that guy.
They might want to look at him. Apparently, if you need help picking out the winner for any Super Bowl, Anthony, all you have to do is go to Brookfield Zoo, Chicago, and ask Charlotte the tarantula. Not just any tarantula, a Chilean rose tarantula. And she has picked the Seahawks to win. She was right. The animal care team at the zoo set up a tarantula-sized football field for Charlotte so she could make her prediction. By the way, this is the 2nd year in a row that she correctly predicted the winner.
The Oscars. Wow, that's impressive, Charlotte.
Plenty more Good Day Chicago ahead. Keep it right here.
You're on break.
7:58 now. Venezuela frees a group of prisoners tied to the opposition party against ousted President Nicolas Maduro. At least 30 political prisoners were released, including supporters of Nobel Prize winner and former opposition candidate for president Maria